Hello. This is Mr. Rouse. I'm here to teach you lesson 2.4. Today we are dealing with estimating products. Now this story problem that they start out with, I'm showing you a lot in these lessons, the very first story problem they start out with. We actually do this one together because I think it's important for these kids to see story problems. So we do them together. Unfortunately for this problem, they already did a lot of the work for us, but we'll still go over it. So an elephant can reach as high as 20 feet with its trunk. That's pretty cool. It uses its trunk to pick up objects that weigh, and they circled it already, but 3 times as much as a 165-pound person. About how much? See, and this is the word. When we estimate, it's just like rounding. They don't want to know the exact amount. They want to know about how much. So whenever your students see the word about, they need to know that you will round. So about means to round. So I hope you want as close to it as you can, but it doesn't have to be exact. So about how much weight can an African American pick up with its trunk? Does it care how high it reaches? No, it wants to know how much it will pick up. So that's why they cross this out. Because we don't need to know that number. And that's where kids get mixed up, is when in a story problem when they're going to have 2 or 3, like they have a bunch of stuff in there with numbers they don't need. Kids don't know when to pick out and when not to. I was that bad. I was like that growing up. So we've got a 165-pound person. I'm going to pick up 3 times, but it wants to know, remember, about. So we're going to go back to that place value lesson where we round. And we're always going to round to the biggest number. So right here, this one. So we have to look to the right. Now remember, if it's 1 to 4... stays the same. That one will stay the same. If it's 5 to 9, that one will go up 1 and everything else becomes zeros. So what number, where does 6 fall in? You got it. It falls between that 5 and 9. So the 1 then becomes a 2 and everything else comes down as a 0. So now I have 200 times 3. Now with this, all I have to do is go 2 times 3, which is, got it, 6. And then I'm just going to bring these 2 zeros over. How cool is that? So my answer is about 600 pounds. Really cool. Okay, so really that's all you're doing in this whole lesson. And the homework is different than the test. That's why I show the story problem, because the homework's just going to give them problems. For instance, if I have 8 times 54, you never, ever round this number. The single digit number here, do not round, okay? You're always going to round the bigger number. Now remember, I'm going to round it here to the largest place value. So I'm looking here. 1 through 4 is the same. The 5 would stay the same. 5 through 9 goes up. 4, there's my 4 there. So 5 stays the same. That 4 becomes a 0. Now I times it out. This is just from last lesson now. 8 times 5 is 40, and bring that 0. So 400. They'll do them as high as into the thousands. So if I have 8 times 3,343. So remember, I'm going to find my highest place value, and that's the number I'm changing. I'm going up or down, so I have to use this number next to it. Okay, so if I'm using that number, 1 to 4 does what? Yep, you got it. Same 5 through 9 up. So 3 is in between 1 through 4, so 3 stays the same. Everything else becomes, you got it, 0. Now it's just like last lesson. I just do 8 times 4, which is 24, and pop these zeros down. And I've got 24,000. Okay, so it's really, you're taking a lesson from I think it was 1.3, 1.4. If your kids are struggling with rounding, go back to my videos, watch the rounding videos, and then last lesson video, and that's this little video. Remember, we're estimating, so you're rounding on this lesson. So we are rounding. I hope you enjoyed Mr. Rouse teaching you 2.4. Join me next time as you get to learn 2.5. Adios.